Good evening and welcome to X Stadium on the campus of Wichita State University, where tonight we bring you game number 2 of the 90th edition of the NBC World Series powered by Evergy. Tonight's 8:30 game that will start at 9 o'clock has Sandlot, Tulsa taking on the Seattle Studs. My name is Steve Strain, and welcome into a gorgeous night for baseball. And we've already had one game in the books here in this tournament, and it's the defending champs, the Hutch Monarchs, picking up where they left off last year when they won this tournament. And they were victorious tonight over TPA Texas by the score of 5-2. That was game number 1 of this tournament that now will extend on into a week from Saturday when we'll have the finals. Hutch, certainly a team that's a contender to be there again. But these two teams about to do battle, Sandlot and Seattle, hope they have something to say about that in advancing to the championship round. We'll find out a little bit about each of those two teams starting tonight. Sandlot is the visiting team, so they will bat first. Let's go ahead and run down their starting lineup. Zach Burns will lead off, and he's at second base. He'll be followed by first baseman Jackson Smith. Brody Green bats third. Green is the shortstop for Sandlot. Hitting cleanup, Luke Schimmels. Schimmels is the designated hitter. Batting fifth, Cale Westwicka. Westwicka is in center field. Trey Freeman bats sixth. Freeman is behind the dish. Batting seventh, Nate Murphy. Murphy is the third baseman. He'll be followed by Chandler Fowler, who bats eighth and is in right field. And batting ninth, Brody Russell. Russell is in left field. Again, the lineup for Sandlot: Burns, Smith, Green, Schimmels, Westwicka, Freeman, Murphy, Fowler, and Russell, with Brennan Phillips on the hill for Sandlot, and he most recently collegiately pitched at Oklahoma State this past season. Here's the starting lineup for the home team, the Seattle Studs, the Seattle Cheney Studs. They go by. Cheney is a suburb of Seattle. We'll call them the Seattle Studs for the sake of things tonight, but we don't want to leave out Cheney, as that's also part of their full name. But nonetheless, leading off for the Studs is Makana Murashiga, and he is the third baseman. Batting second, Davis Coaster. Coaster is the second baseman. Batting third, Logan Shepard. Shepard is at first base. Ben Schnerman hits fourth. Schnerman is the designated hitter. Batting fifth, Noah Fields. Fields is in left field. Isaiah Afework bats sixth. Afework is in right field. Batting seventh, Jack Bergstrom. Bergstrom is behind the plate. Jake Gallagher bats eighth, and Gallagher is at shortstop. And batting ninth, Drew Kamahara. Kamaharo is in center field. Again, the lineup for Seattle: Murashiga, Coaster, Shepard, Schnerman, Fields, Afework, Bergstrom, Gallagher, and Kamaharo, with Jeff Brown on the hill for Seattle. And this is one of the most interesting stories of this 90th NBC World Series in 2024, as this guy pitched collegiately at the University of Washington all the way back in 2008, 9, and 10. He was drafted then by the Kansas City Royals and ended up pitching, though, in the Los Angeles Dodgers minor league system in the years of 2012, 13, and 14. He's a southpaw that is going through some warm-up tosses right now, but you take him and the pitcher for Sandlot, Brennan Phillips, again at a high-quality, high-caliber program in Oklahoma State. We've got two pitchers tonight that can deal, and that should make things very interesting this evening on what, by the way, is a gorgeous night for baseball again in Wichita. Game time temperature right now is at 85 degrees, and there is absolutely no wind right now here at X Stadium. The flag out in right field is completely limp on that pole. That's a rarity for this part of the country, south central Kansas, but no breeze tonight as we're set for some baseball. A 9 o'clock first pitch, and we are right on time to go. So here we go. Settle in and enjoy some NBC baseball tonight from Wichita. Zach Burns steps in from the right side of the plate. The first pitch is in for a strike at 9 o'clock Central Time, and it's 0-1 to Burns. Seattle is in their white uniforms, white jerseys, white pants with black caps and black stripes down the sides of the white uniform as the pitch is away for a ball, and it's 1-1 strike to Burns. Black pinstripes on the white jerseys for the Seattle Studs as well. The pitch to the right-handed hitting Burns, and that one is at the letters for a strike, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zach Burns, a wide open stance, back foot at the back part of the batter's box, and the front foot is all the way up, maybe half a foot away from the front part as the pitch is high and away for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield plays Zach Burns very shallow. That's something to note in case he gets a hold of one. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that one is down in the dirt. And it's a ball, 3 balls and 2 strikes. I mentioned earlier that Jeff Brown, the pitcher for Seattle, pitched at the University of Washington, and again the seasons were 2008, 9, and 10. The 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. He was born in Auburn, Washington, was Jeff Brown. His home is Mill Creek, Washington. The 3-2 swung on and fouled out of play, and the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The busiest season of his college career for Jeff Brown was actually his junior year in 2009 when he appeared in 31 games, all of them in relief. The 3-2 swung on and missed. He took something off, and a strikeout to start the game as Burns goes down swinging for out number 1. Let's set the defense for Seattle for you. Logan Shepard is at first base. Davis Coaster is at second. Jake Gallagher is the shortstop. Makana Murashiga is the third baseman. The outfield from left to right, Noah Fields, Drew Kamahara, and Isaiah Afework. Jack Bergstrom is behind the plate catching the balls and strikes of Jeff Brown. Here's Jackson Smith, and the pitch swung on, and he got a piece of it at the plate, but it's 0-1. I mentioned that Jeff Brown's busiest season at the University of Washington was actually in 2009, his junior year. He appeared in 31 games as the pitch down and away for a ball. It's 1-1. He appeared in 20 games in 2010, fewer games, but logged more innings because he did start 11 times in his senior year at Washington in 2010. A ball and a strike. The wind up in the pitch swung on and missed. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So a good start for Jeff Brown as he is consistently finding the zone. He got the first hitter, Zach Burns, to strike out swinging. And he's ahead in the count here, 1-2. The pitch. And that one was down, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jackson Smith, a left-handed hitter. Standing in there now, trying to stay alive. Brown gets the sign, ready and delivers. A 2-2 swung on and lifted out into left field, and Noah Fields is backing up. He's calling for it, and he's got it for out number 2. So Smith does a good job trying to protect the plate with a 2-strike count, but he sends one to left field for out number 2, and that'll bring Brody Green up to the plate. Again, in the first game tonight, the Hutch Monarchs knocked off TPA Texas by the score of 5-2. Hutch scored 4 of their 5 runs in the very first inning. Then it was a really good pitcher's duel after that. And the Monarchs win by 3. First pitch to Brody Green. Inside, it's a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch to Green. And that one misses as well. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Brody Green from Owasso, Oklahoma, played collegiately at Texas Christian University. This one down low, and the count's 3-0. So Jeff Brown struggling here with Brody Green at the plate after throwing pretty consistent strikes through the first 2 batters, but he's fallen behind in the count here to Green. 3 balls and no strikes. We'll see if Green is taking all the way. He is, and it's a good thing. Pitch is up high, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Brody Green with 2 outs, and he's aboard over at first base. And being that he played at Texas Christian University, you get the feeling that maybe Brown was well aware of that, just didn't want to have anything to do with him and not give him anything good to hit with nobody on and 2 outs. So here's designated hitter Luke Schimmel stepping in from the right side of the plate. And for the first time tonight, Jeff Brown will go from the stretch, and the pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count is no balls and one strike to Luke Schimmels. Schimmels is from Edmond, Oklahoma, suburb of Oklahoma City. And here's the pitch. And it's going to be strike two. No balls and two strikes as that one was fouled away. So 2 quick outs recorded by Jeff Brown. He gave up the 4-pitch walk to Brody Green, but has restored order quickly here ahead in the count to Luke Schimmels, 0-2. Through this stretch goes Brown and the 0-2. Swung on in a 1-hopper, a 2-hopper it is. Back to Brown. He'll field, fired at first in time for a 1-3 putout, and the side retired. No runs, no hits, and a walk, and one man left. After half an inning, Sandlot nothing. And Seattle coming up at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Whether you're preparing a perfect meal, getting people back on the road, protecting online privacy, or supporting your patient's health, you want to be the best professional in your field. At Butler Community College, our focus is getting you the highly specialized and versatile training needed to start your career in as little as a year. Our classroom experiences are fine-tuned by industry professionals. You will launch into the workforce with the confidence and skills to make you stand out from the rest. Butler Community College. Real college. Really affordable.
Well, 4 batters appeared for Sandlot in the top of the first inning. They had a 2-out walk, and that's the most they could muster against Jeff Brown. So now the Seattle Studs get their crack here in the bottom of the first inning against Brennan Phillips, who is also a left-handed pitcher. So not only do we have a couple of pitchers with a lot of accolades, one of them pitched at the University of Washington, and the starter Phillips for Sandlot plays collegiately for Oklahoma State. In fact, he pitched for them just this past season. Again, he's a lefty out of Owasso, Oklahoma, which a number of these Sandlot players are from. As Phillips had a 4.91 earned run average at Oklahoma State this past season. 2-0 was his record. He appeared in 11 games overall, started 2 of them, and he pitched in 14 2/3 innings this past season. So no matter how many innings you've pitched, when you've pitched at Oklahoma State, you certainly have shown a lot of potential, and he should make things interesting for this Seattle team that is getting ready to step up to the plate for the first time tonight. So up to the plate to lead it off for the Studs, Makana Murashiga, the third baseman, up there from the right side of the plate. And the first pitch to Murashiga from Phillips is in there for a strike, 0-1. I mentioned the white jerseys with the dark stripes for the Seattle Studs. Sandlot Tulsa goes with the black jerseys, all black with white pants. Here's the 0-1 to Murashiga, and it's high and away. It's a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike to Makana Murashiga. Murashiga's out of Honolulu, Hawaii, and plays collegiately at the University of Puget Sound. The pitch swung on and missed. It looked like Phillips took something off of that one. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Murashiga. Murashiga hit .348 for the Studs during the regular season, which wrapped up the other night. The pitch swung on in a 1-hopper back to Phillips. He will field it at the top of the hill, then race toward the first base bag, and an underhand toss to first in plenty of time for a 1-3 putout, and there's 1 away. The defense for Sandlot Tulsa, Jackson Smith is at first base. Zach Burns is at second. Brody Green's at short. Nate Murphy is over at third. The outfield from left to right, Brody Russell, Cale Westwicka, and Chandler Fowler is in right. Trey Freeman behind the plate, catching the balls and strikes of lefty Brennan Phillips. Here's Davis Coaster, the second baseman, first pitch swinging, and he'll connect, and a 2-hopper out to second. Fielded by Burns, he'll throw to first in time for a quick 4-3 putout, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning of a scoreless game. Well, we expected that this might be a good pitcher's duel, and it's very early, but so far, through 5 batters, 6 of them actually, only 1 has reached base, and that was via The 2-out walk back in the top of the first inning. Logan Shepard steps in, and the first pitch, he'll first pitch swing. And send one back to the screen. It's 0-1 to Logan Shepard. Shepard, a right-handed hitter, and his back right foot is on the line at the back end of the batter's box. He takes as the pitch is down low, and the count is 1-1 strike to Shepard. Shepard's from Olympia, Washington. Played collegiately at Tacoma Community College, and he takes as the pitch is down in for a ball. 2 balls and a strike to Shepard. Ben Schnerman waits on deck. Shepard will have to get aboard, though, for Schnerman to reach the plate this inning with 2 outs. The pitch, fastball outside, and the count is 3-1. A symmetrical ballpark here at X Stadium, 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, and 390 feet to straightaway center field. The pitch, a liner right back to the hill, and Phillips snags it waist high. Oh, a comebacker on a line. Wonder what the exit velocity on that was, but it doesn't matter because Phillips snared it right by the right hip for a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. After an inning, Tulsa 0, Seattle 0 at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
At Davis Moore, we make sure there's something for everyone at each of our locations. We stock vehicles spanning almost every make and model. We're confident you will find exactly what you're looking for. Every vehicle on our lot has passed our 171-point inspection to ensure safety and reliability. Customer service is our top priority, and our friendly and expert staff will guide you through the process every step of the way. Come shop Wichita's best selection of used cars at any one of our locations, or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
X Stadium, the home of Tyler Field, is the home also of the Wichita State Shocker baseball team. What a history there is with this program here in Wichita. As you can see, the national champions of college baseball in 1989. We're ready for the second inning. Seattle and Sandlot in a scoreless game. Neither team able to muster much against what we expect to be a good pitching battle here tonight. So Jeff Brown out for his second inning of work. Cale Westwicka, the center fielder, leads off for Seattle, and the first pitch to Westwicka misses for a ball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Westwicka. Brown set through the windup and delivers. And the slider is on the inside edge for a strike. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. Westwicka from Bethany, Oklahoma. Played collegiately at Northeastern Oklahoma Enid, and he takes, and the pitch misses for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and one. Brown ready through the windup, delivers, and that one catches the outside edge for a strike. And the count is now level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brown set, delivers, the 2-2 swung on and fouled back out of play. And the count holds 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mentioned that Jeff Brown pitched in the minor leagues for the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. That was back in the seasons of 2012, 13, and 14. All of them at the Class A level. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, swung on, and another one fouled back and out of play, and the count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes. In his 3 seasons of minor league baseball, Jeff Brown won 17 games and he lost 8. He had an ERA of 3.43 in his 3 seasons of professional baseball. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called on the inside edge. Westwicka didn't like that. I think he thought it was inside. In fact, he's having some words with the home plate umpire. He's not going to win that argument. And 1 away now here in the top of the second inning. That's the second strikeout of the evening for Brown. He got Zach Burns to lead off the game swinging. And right there, he caught Cale Westwicka looking. So here's Trey Freeman now, the catcher. And the first pitch to Freeman is a slider that stays high and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Trey Freeman playing collegiately at Labette Community College. A big swing and a miss on the pitch number 2 he sees, and the count is now even at 1 ball and 2 strikes. He was used sparingly, was Freeman, this past season. He did play in 15 games and hit .094. The pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's a right-handed hitter, and he's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Freeman did have 3 runs batted in this past season, scored a couple of times. The pitch, that one stays outside, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brown set through the windup and delivers the 2-2. Swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Freeman. And a good start for Jeff Brown here in the top of the second inning. He's got 2 strikeouts, one of them looking, and Trey Freeman most recently swinging. And down he goes. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Jeff Brown, and now Nate Murphy, the third baseman, will step up to the plate as Brown works on striking out the side here in the second. The pitch, and that one a changeup, but it tailed inside to the right-handed hitter. 1 ball and no strikes to Nate Murphy. A ball and no strikes. The pitch, fastball, just missed on the edge. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and 0, and the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. That one might have been outside as well, but Murphy offered at it, and it's 2-1. Murphy is from Bixby, Oklahoma, which is just to the south of Tulsa. Played collegiately at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. And he takes on the outside edge, and he did not like that one. Pretty big strike zone, it appears, tonight. For both sides, at least, though. You can say that. It's consistent. And Murphy now will have to protect the plate. It's 2-2. Brown is ready. The 2-2. He took something off, and it's fouled back to the screen. And the count holds 2 balls and 2 strikes. So deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the second inning of a scoreless game. Sandlot Tulsa batting now, and the Seattle Studs out in the field as the home team. 2-2. And Brown delivers. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Jeff Brown does strike out the side. 2 of them swinging. He got 1 looking. He's got 4 strikeouts already on the night. After 1.5, Seattle nothing and Sandlot Tulsa nothing. This is the 90th NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
Scoreless game through an inning and a half from Wichita tonight. And it's Ben Schnerman that'll lead off for the Seattle Studs. Schnerman, Noah Fields, and Isaiah Afework after Brennan Phillips retired the side in order in the first inning. Hutchinson won the first game of this tournament by the score of 5-2 over TPA Texas. And now the Seattle Studs will get their second look at Schnerman here, Phillips here on the evening. Tomorrow there will also be just 2 games in this tournament. The other Seattle team, the Blackfins, will take on the Hayesville Aviators at 3 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock It'll be the GPS Legends in Santa Barbara. I beg your pardon, there will be 4 games tomorrow. There's also a noon and an 8:30. Today is the only day, I take it back, where there are 2 games. Here's the first pitch to Schnerman. A big swing, and he'll connect and send one over to third on a couple of hops. Nate Murphy is there on 2 easy hops, throws across to first in time for a 5-3 putout and 1 away. So that'll get Noah Fields up to the plate. X Stadium here at Wichita State is entirely made of artificial surface. That is all of the turf on the field, including the warning track. Some fields that are artificial surface still have a dirt mound or maybe dirt on the warning tracks, but not here. The base paths, the warning tracks, the pitcher's mound, all artificial surface. First pitch to Noah Fields. In there, it's a strike. No balls and a strike to Fields. Fields, the right-handed hitting left fielder for Seattle. 0-1, the pitch. Fastball outside. And the count is now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a fastball that missed away to Fields. Phillips is ready. The pitch swung on and fouled over on the right side over the first base dugout and toward the stands. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Noah Fields. So they'll get a new baseball out to Phillips. He's ready. Through the windup he goes. And the 1-2. Swung on and lifted into right field. Drifting in a little bit is Chandler Fowler. And he's there to snare it for out number 2. And 2 away. Brennan Phillips this past season at Oklahoma State, I went over some of his numbers. Opponents did hit .310 against him. Again, that's just in 14 2/3 innings, though. He gave up 18 hits in those 14 2/3. Here's Isaiah Afework, and the first pitch to him. He swings and sends one right back up the middle for a base hit. So the first base runner for Seattle is Isaiah Afework after a 2-out single. And that ends the string of the first 5 straight outs recorded by Phillips to start the game. So a runner at first, 2 outs for Jack Bergstrom now, the catcher. And now Phillips works from the stretch for the first time tonight. The first pitch to Bergstrom, low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Brennan Phillips did walk only 5 and struck out 16 in 14 2/3 this past season at Oklahoma State. The pitch misses for a ball. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes to Jack Bergstrom, the catcher for Seattle. 0-0 our score. Each team has had 1 base runner to this point. Phillips looks at first. The pitch is home. Swung on and a bouncing ball over toward short. Charging in is going to be Green. He'll field. Fire to first in time for a 6-3 putout. And the side retired. So a 2-out single, all for Seattle in the second. And after 2, a 0-0 tie at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Ready for the third inning from X Stadium tonight. A 0-0 tie, Sandlot, Tulsa, and the Seattle Studs. And to start the third inning, it'll be the bottom 2 in the order, Chandler Fowler and Brody Russell for Sandlot. Then back to the top of the order with Zach Burns. So 8, 9, and 1 in a scoreless tie tonight from Wichita. And again, you just couldn't ask for a much better night weather-wise. At the start of the game, the temperature in the low 80s. It's 84 right now and absolutely no wind at all. And the crowd that's here is enjoying that. Things may change around the middle part of next week for most of the rest of the tournament when we could see triple digits. Here's Chandler Fowler in the first pitch, swung on, and a bouncing ball on one hop over to second, fielded by Davis Coaster, who charges in, fields it on a hop and throws to first in time for a 4-3 putout, one away. So Jeff Brown struck out the side in the second inning. Starts off the third with a bouncing ball to second for the first out, so that ends a string of 3 straight strikeouts recorded. He's got 4 on the night. Here's Brody Russell, a left-handed hitter in the first pitch. Misses, down and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Russell, the left fielder for Sandlot Tulsa. Brown set and delivers, and a swing and a miss. That one was at 81, and the count is now even at 1 ball and 1 strikes to Russell, the left-handed hitting left fielder for Sandlot Tulsa. Out of Claremore, Oklahoma, playing collegiately at Labette Community College. The 1-1 swung on and fouled, back and out of play. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brody Russell played in 27 games this past season at Labette, hit .222 with a homer. 9 runs batted in. The 1-2 swung on and a bouncing ball over to short. Fielded by Gallagher, he'll throw to first in time for a 6-3 putout, and 2 outs now, as we'll go back to the top of the order with Zach Burns. So through the first 9 in the order for Sandlot, the only base runner was Brody Green, and that's when he was issued a 4-pitch walk back in the first inning. Other than that, for Jeff Brown, the pitcher for Seattle, it was 8 up and 8 down. And the first pitch now to Burns is chopped at the plate, foul over toward the third base dugout. And it's 0-1. Seattle occupies the third base dugout. Sandlot Tulsa over at first. 0-1. And the pitch. A fastball on the outer edge, about letter high. Good pitch, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to Burns. Burns struck out swinging back in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Down in the count here, 0-2. The pitch. Just missed outside. Boy, Brown was working that outside edge again, trying to paint the corners, and he nearly did, but that one just a hair outside, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brown is set. Here's the 1-2. Lifted right side, slicing out of play. And the count holds, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, the shoes for Jeff Brown, the pitcher for Seattle, really stand out. They are bright red. Quite a contrast for his dark striped white uniform. The pitch down low for a ball. It's 2-2. Again, white uniforms with dark pinstripes for Seattle, but then most of the players go with either black or white cleats, but Jeff Brown, the pitcher for Seattle, has some red cleats with that familiar swoosh on them. Here's the 2-2, lifted right side. This is slicing toward the line, over in right field is Afework. He'll make the catch, running across the foul line down the right side for out number 3, and for the second inning in a row, Jeff Brown retires the side in order. After 2.5, Sandlot Tulsa 0 and Seattle 0 at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
There's something happening in Wichita. Excitement, movement, a vibe. A city that offers amazing experiences delivered with heart. From arts to attractions, nightlife to sports, you feel the energy at every turn. A little fancy, a little funky, but always friendly. Come see the place we love. We think you'll love it too. Discover more at visitwichita.com.
To the bottom of the third inning we go. It's a 0-0 tie. Only one hit in the game. Each team has had one base runner, but not much to show for it so far. And it looks like Sandlot Tulsa has already gone to the bullpen for some relief help. So there you can see the hitters for Seattle getting set to step in, getting a good look at the new pitcher for Tulsa Sandlot in what we are experiencing in a good pitcher's duel, which is no surprise with the caliber of pitching on these two teams, particularly the starting pitcher. Now it'll be up to Landon Grigg, the right-hander for Tulsa Sandlot, who's out of Bentonville, Arkansas, and pitched collegiately for Louisiana Monroe. So pretty high level of baseball for him as well, and we'll see how he fares against the Seattle Studs. The first batter he'll see is Jake Gallagher here in the third inning. So it's a right-handed pitcher who will work from the stretch and a right-handed hitter in Gallagher, and the first pitch to Gallagher is in there for a strike, and boy, does Greg throw some gas. That one at 94 miles an hour, 0-1. Again, he works from the stretch exclusively. He stretches and delivers, and this one inside. That one at 92. And it's one ball and one strike, to the right-handed hitting Gallagher, the shortstop for Seattle. 1-1, the pitch. Chopped at the plate, foul, and it goes behind the dish. A little bit taken off that time by Greg. That one at 89. And it's now 2 balls and a strike. 6'1", 190 is Landon Grigg. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3, and down he goes. So a nice job by Grigg. He threw a ball right away, but comes back and strikes out Gallagher for the first out of the inning. And now Drew Kamahara will step into the plate. And you can see as you watch Gallagher going back to the dugout, he's telling his teammates what he saw to give them an idea. First pitch now to Kamahara. Outside, it's a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. That was a fastball at 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch to Kamahara. That one did catch the edge. And again, from up here, it appeared that it might have missed. Kamahara was taking, but it was called a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch chopped foul at the plate over towards the third base dugout. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Drew Kamahara hit .260 for Seattle during the regular season. No homers and 5 runs batted in. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and down he goes. And back-to-back strikeouts now for Landon Grigg as he makes the most of his opportunities so far. 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning. So that'll get us back to the top of the order now with Makana Murashige. Murashige bounced one right back to the pitcher in the first inning, so he is 0 for 1. And the first pitch down and in for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Grigg will stretch. And the pitch. Chopped foul at the plate. And the count is 0-1. Nothing. Seattle with the only hit of the ball game. That was an inning ago. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brennan Phillips faced 7 batters through the first 2 innings. Did not strike out anybody. But Landon Grigg has already struck out 2 here in the third. The pitch swung on and missed, and he strikes out this side. What a job by Landon Grigg in the third inning. Called on in relief, and it's strikeout swinging times 3. After 3, a scoreless game at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
I'm bougie. I'm like $7 bougie.
The all-new $7 deal lovers menu at Pizza Hut. Choose your $7 faves 7 days a week.
Because it's only a deal if you love it.
No one out-pizzas the Hut.
A 0-0 tie in the nightcap of the two games played on day one of the 90th NBC World Series. The first game saw the Hutch Monarchs knock off TPA Texas by the score of 5-2. In this one, we've got a thriller so far through 3 innings, a scoreless game, and Jackson Smith will lead off the 4th inning for Tulsa Sandlot. Smith, Brody Green, and Luke Schimmels 2, 3, and 4, and the first pitch to Smith in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Smith is 0 for 1. He flied to left back in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch. He took something off, a changeup, and they will appeal, but it looks like Smith checked his swing, and the count is even at 1-1 strike. Jeff Brown is set, and the lefty threw the windup and delivers the 1-1. Inside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jackson Smith's fly out to left field in the first inning was with 2 strikes. He was protecting the plate. Did a good job of that. Sent it the other way, but it was right to Noah Fields and left. Here's the 2-1. Swung on the fists, and it's muscled out to second base on the ground. Davis Coaster is there. He'll move in a few steps, field it, and toss to first for a 4-3 putout and 1 away. So that'll get Brody Green up to the plate. Jeff Brown pitched at Jackson High School in Washington State. In 2008, he was one of the busiest pitchers on the University of Washington staff, and that was as a freshman. First pitch to Brody Green is sent the other way to right field. Coming on is Isaiah Athwork to make the catch. And 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th inning for Tulsa Sandlot. Well, Brown certainly isn't overpowering anybody, but he's getting the job done. After striking out 4 through the first 2 innings, he hasn't struck out anybody since, but nobody's making good contact. Luke Schimmels, the first pitch, taken, it's a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And if you're getting them out, it doesn't matter, strikeout or not, and Brown is certainly doing that. The 1-0 swung on, lifted over on the right side. This is foul into foul ground. The first baseman Shepard is over, though, and he makes the catch in foul ground up the right field line to retire the side in order for the 3rd inning in a row. Jeff Brown is cruising now. And after 3.5, Tulsa Sandlot nothing, Seattle nothing at the 90th NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
With Butler having such a small class size, everybody had a voice in the classroom. Everybody was able to participate. To this day, there are students that I took classes with 10 years ago that I could pick up the phone and call. That's how much the community at Butler has affected the way I even do my business today. When I went to another college to try it out, I was just a number. They didn't even know my name. Butler's class sizes are smaller. That's where you get that community feel. And cost-wise, a lot cheaper.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
To the bottom of the 4th inning we go from Eck Stadium at Wichita State. In a 0-0 tie through 3.5 innings so far. No runs for either team, and just a grand total of 1 hit so far, and What a job Landon Grigg did in relief. The first relief pitcher used for either team in this contest, and he struck out the side against Seattle in the bottom of the third inning. Now he'll work on the top part of the order here in inning number 4. And the first batter he'll face is Davis Coaster, and the first pitch to Coaster is a strike, 0-1. Davis Coaster bounced out to second back in the bottom of the first inning. An 0-for-1 start for him from the right side of the plate. The pitch swung on and chopped over toward third, but that one will be foul. In between the third base coach's box and the bag at third. And the count is quickly 0-2, so Grigg ahead in the count again. No balls and 2 strikes. Landon Grigg, I mentioned that he was listed as pitching at Louisiana Monroe. He also has pitched at Crowder Junior College. Here's the 0-2 pitch, line foul over on the right side. That one in between the bag at first and the first base coach's box. And the count is 0-2. At Crowder Junior College, Grigg had 12 appearances and went 7-0 in 7 games. The pitch, this one inside, and it hit him. And Davis Coaster gets hit. It looked like maybe on the left elbow area, and he'll trot down to first base. So the first base runner Grigg gives up is a hit batsman, and indeed, looking at the replay, it was on the left elbow of Coaster, who fortunately has that one pretty well protected, and he'll head down to first base. And now it's Logan Shepard up, and the pitch to Shepard. And there it's a strike, 0-1. Shepard is the one who lined back to the pitcher for an out to end the first inning. The 0-1 pitch. Off speed and in there is Grigg. Delivered a changeup at 78. Feathered that in there beautifully, and it had to freeze Shepard. Quickly, Grigg is ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Line foul right side. Out of play. Landon Grigg, when he went 7-0 at Crowder Junior College, started 7 games but appeared in 12 overall, so he did have 5 relief appearances. 51 2/3 innings at 2.44 ERA. Boy, he was solid that year. He struck out 48. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Shepard. So in 5 batters faced for Landon Grigg. He has struck out 4 of them. That's the first out of the inning for Ben Schnerman now, the designated hitter. Schnerman steps up there from the right side of the plate, having grounded out to third his first time up. And the first pitch to him is a changeup that's in there. 0-1. Boy, is Grigg freezing these Seattle hitters with this changeup. No balls and a strike. They go up there looking for that 90-plus mile-an-hour heat, and then he delivers something in that's around 80. And he's really got them confused now. The pitch swung on and lifted center field. Pretty well struck. Westbrook going back, still drifting back, and finally tracks it down about 15 feet in front of the warning track for out number 2. Well, there's no wind again tonight, and Schnerman did get underneath that one, but it did continue to carry as you watched the center fielder Westbrook start back a little bit. Then he had to go quicker and quicker back toward the track, and then finally, probably about 365 or 70 feet away from home plate, Westbrook tracked it down for out number 2. So 2 away now, and here's Noah Fields, the left fielder. First pitch to Fields. Misses inside. It's a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Fields flew out to right. Back in the second inning, he's 0-for-1. Runner at first, 2 outs in a scoreless game, bottom of the 4th inning. Grigg through the stretch and delivers, and a hot shot over to third on a hop, and it is misplayed by Murphy over there, and that one will likely be the first error of the game, and everybody's safe. Well, that was a hot shot, 1 hopper to third, and Nate Murphy got a glove on it, but just went right through the wickets, as they say, and drifted a little bit up the third base line into shallow left field. So on at first base is going to be Noah Fields, and Isaiah Afework will step up now. And indeed, that was an E5 that puts Fields at first and Coaster down at second base. And the first pitch to Afework. And it's down low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, good job by Trey Freeman that time, the catcher. He stopped that one, prevented it from getting away. 1 ball and no strikes to Afework. Afework has the lone hit of the game for either team. A quiet 2-out single in the second inning. The pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count is now level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jack Bergstrom waits on deck. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning of a scoreless game. Seattle and Tulsa Sandlot. Through the stretch goes Grigg. Checks the runners. Nobody holding the runners on, and the pitch swung on and fouled into the glove, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Afework. That one's another off-speed pitch by Grigg, so once again, just as effective, maybe even more so when he lays off the heat. Now the 1-2. After he checks the runners, the pitch. Driven to left field. This one is well struck. This one is down. It's going to bounce to the fence and over the fence, and that means it will only score 1. That's a bad break for Sandlot or for Seattle because it's a ground rule double. That means the runner at first Fields will have to go back to third base, and it's going to be an RBI double for Afework. But with 2 outs and the runners moving on contact, had that one not bounced over the fence, it clearly would have been a 2 RBI double for Afework. Instead, it's just a single RBI and a double. But Seattle has drawn first blood, and they have a 1-0 lead. So Afework down at second. Field stops at third, and now here's Jack Bergstrom with 2 in scoring position. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 at 89 as Grigg goes back to the fastball. How about the start, though, for Isaiah Afework? He's got the only 2 hits of the game. A single on the second, a double on the 4th, and an RBI. The pitch, that one down in the dirt. Good stop again by Freeman. He blocked it as it skipped in and keeps it in front of him. And so now, 1 ball and no strikes. So 1-0 the score. Seattle has taken the lead on an RBI double by Isaiah Afework. And now Bergstrom trying to add to the lead with 2 in scoring position, but 2 away. Here's the pitch. This one is lined into center field. Coming on is going to be Westbrook. He won't get there. He's got to play it on a hop. Here comes Fields to score, followed by Afework. A 2 RBI single for Jack Bergstrom, and Seattle has opened things up now and they lead 3-0. Well, this Seattle team now has, after struggling through the 3rd inning when the side was struck out, seems to have gotten their timing down on Landon Grigg, as the last 2 hitters have hit him and hit him hard. 3-0 now, and the first pitch to Jake Gallagher swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1 to Gallagher. So 2 of the 3 hits for the Studs have come in this inning. And they've jumped out in front 3-0. The pitch swung on and a bouncing ball out to short. Charging in his green, he'll field and toss to first for a 6-3 putout. And the side retired, but not before Seattle scores 3 times on a couple of hits. There was an error, and they leave 1. And after 4, Seattle 3, Sandlot 0 at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
And I have had a student in this very class.
Wait. Jay was drawing something up.
Well, after struggling through the first 3 innings, the Seattle Studs got their bats heated up in the bottom half of the last inning, the 4th, where they picked up 3 runs on a couple of hits, and they've now granted Jeff Brown, their pitcher, with a 3-0 lead as we start inning number 5 now from X Stadium, and it's Cale Westwicka, the center fielder for Tulsa Sandlot, that will lead things off. He had a busy top half of the inning, chasing some fly balls that were hit over his head, tracking them down, but then also charging in on that 2 RBI single and firing it back. The first pitch to him from Jeff Brown, and he is first pitch swinging, and Westwicka sends one high down the right side. Drifting over toward the line, his 8th work, he's there, and he's got it 1 away. So Jeff Brown continues to cruise through this Tulsa Sandlot order. 1 pitch, 1 quick out here in the top of the 5th inning, and now Trey Freeman about to step up to the plate. Freeman was one of 3 strikeout victims to Brown back in the 2nd inning, and he takes the first pitch inside. It nearly hit him. He had to jump out of the way, and it's 0-1, or 1 ball and no strikes, excuse me. Freeman did a really good job in the last half inning, getting his body in front of some of those Landon Grigg pitches. The pitch high and away, it's a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Freeman. Brown ready through the windup, and the pitch. Outside for a ball. And the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. Trey Freeman, I mentioned earlier, only hit .094 at Labette Community College. Jeff Brown probably aware of that, but he just issued a 4-pitch walk to Freeman, and so he'll get the free pass and head down to first base. That's just the 2nd base runner of the game for Tulsa Sandlot. Both of them issued walks. Brody Green back in the 1st inning, and to start the 5th inning, Trey Freeman here. That also ends a string of 10 in a row retired by Brown. And the last one to reach was the Brody Green walk in the 1st. Here's Nate Murphy, and he takes outside for a ball. And now Jack Bergstrom, the catcher for Seattle, is back from behind the dish to talk to his pitcher and calm him down a little bit perhaps. Brown was cruising through the first 4, but now trouble, a bit of it anyway, with the runner at first. 1 away here in the 5th, as Brown has had trouble finding the zone. And again, Jeff Brown, I don't know if he's the oldest player in this NBC World Series, but he's got to be one of the top few at 34 years old. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch to Murphy, lifted behind the plate, foul and out of play. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. 34 years old is by no stretch old, but it also makes you wonder how much Jeff Brown is pitching these days. A ball and a strike, and the pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-2. He did pitch during the regular season for the Seattle Studs, but only in 21 innings. He's pitched about a 1/4 of that here tonight. A ball and 2 strikes, 1-2. He'll throw to first. And back diving in is Freeman. In 21 innings, Jeff Brown this season gave up 14 hits and 5 earned runs. He, get this, walked only 1, though, and struck out 24. 1-2. And the pitch swung on and lifted into center field. Shallow center field. Kamahara charges in. Now stops right on that Wheat Shocker logo in center field. And he makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 outs here in the inning. And Chandler Fowler will step up. Boy, that really puts in perspective the walk that Brown issued 2 batters ago to Trey Freeman. Again, 21 innings for Brown this season. He walked 1 all regular season long for Seattle. But he walks 1 here tonight. No wonder that got his catcher out from behind the plate to talk to him. Here's Chandler Fowler. On the first pitch, misses. That one was close, but may have been a bit high or outside, and it's 1-0 to Fowler. Fowler, the right-handed hitting right fielder for Sandlot, is 0 for 1. He grounded out to second to lead off the third inning. The pitch, ripped on a couple of hops to third. Murashaga does a good job of keeping it in front of him, knocks it down, throws to second for the force out. 5-4 to end the inning. So no runs, no hits. There was a walk and one man left. And after 4.5, Seattle 3 and Sandlot nothing at the 90th NBC World Series powered by Evergy.
I really hope it's like this everywhere, but I also really believe that it's special to Butler. Like, I feel like once you come in, it's a culture. Like, they really want their students to succeed. For me, talking to somebody that has come from a position like me where they were out of the game for a long time, it can change your life. It changed my whole path. Like, I felt like at Butler, I found my people.
Three 0 the score. Seattle on top of Tulsa Sandlot. And Landon Grigg is out for his third inning of work. And boy, it's been feast or famine for him as he struck out the side in the third inning, but then trouble in the fourth as he gave up 3 runs, a couple of hits. There was also an error along the way, so not all of the runs were earned, but nonetheless, the 2 hits that Seattle was able to muster against him were well-struck balls, a single and a double. And all 3 of the studs' runs were scored in that fourth inning. It'll be Drew Kamahara to start the bottom of the fifth inning for Seattle. He's the number 9 hitter in the order. So then back to the top of the order we go with Murashiga and Davis Coaster. 9, 1, and 2 for Seattle here in the inning. In a 3-0 Seattle Studs lead. So Drew Kamahara is on. He was the second batter that Grigg faced back in the third inning, and he struck out swinging, so he is 0 for 1. Left-handed hitting center fielder, showing bunt on the first pitch from Grigg, who delivers a fastball outside. It's 1-0. Grigg stretches and delivers, and Kamahara lines it foul up above the third base dugout. And it's 2-0. Kamahara has played 3 seasons at Puget Sound up in the Pacific Northwest, a career .279 hitter in those 3 seasons. The 2-1, and that one is low, and it's 3-1. His best season by far was 2023 when he hit a whopping .339 and had 8 doubles, both of those career highs. The 3-1. Lifted into left center field. That's down. That's going to be a base hit, and it's going to scoot for a while on this turf. Kamahara is going to round first and head to second. He'll get there easily with a leadoff stand-up double. Well, that one was positioned beautifully, dissecting the center fielder Westwicka and the left fielder Russell on into left center field. And the number 9 hitter in the order, Kamahara, perfectly places a double into left center, so he's aboard at second base, and that'll send it back to the top of the order with Makana Murashiga. Murashiga is 0 for 2. He is grounded out and struck out. Runner in scoring position here. Grigg through the stretch, fires home. Murashiga showing bunt, pulls back as the pitch a bit outside, and it's 1-0. Murashiga, like the last hitter, Kamahara, playing collegiately in the Washington area. He's at Big Bend, at Puget Sound also. Time is called. Trey Freeman out from behind the dish to talk to his pitcher. Murashiga and Kamahara both play collegiately at Puget Sound. Murashiga this past season hit .344. So Freeman back from behind the plate. Returns now and had a brief word with his pitcher, and we're ready to go. 1-0, the count to Murashiga. Grigg always works from the stretch. Nobody holding the runner on at second. The pitch. And Murashiga showing bunt again, and he may have offered it this one. He pulled back. They will appeal, and the first base umpire says no, he did not offer at it. He got the bat back in time. So 2 balls and no strikes. The count to Murashiga. We'll see if he's showing bunt again. Jackson Smith, the first baseman, edging in. Murphy at third trying to be careful because the bunt would send a runner toward third. The pitch, he does not offer at this one, another one that misses away. And Grigg now having trouble finding the zone. It's 3-0. Interesting here to see if he's taking all the way on 3-0 or will he show bunt again? He does show bunt. He lays it down. It's a good one to the mound. Grigg, the only throw to first that's in time for a putout, but Murashiga does the job. A sacrifice goes 1-3 as Jackson Smith did not charge in. So it's a 1-3 sacrifice for the first out of the inning. But again, it gets the job done as Kamaharo trots down to third base, and now another runner in scoring position for Seattle here in the bottom of the 5th inning, leading 3-1 as Davis Coaster will now step up to the plate. And the first pitch to Coaster. Inside edge, it's a strike, 0-1. Coaster was hit by a pitch his last time up. He's got a big protective padding on his left elbow, and that's right where it hit. The pitch swung on and fouled, out of play on the right side. That one bangs into the stands, high above first base, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to Coaster. Infield playing in, down 3-0 is Tulsa. So they'll play in with a runner at third. The pitch misses for a ball. And it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes as Grigg took something off that one and it stayed upstairs. Grigg stretches again. And the 1-2. And that one is swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count holds 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tulsa still without a hit in this game. Seattle has put 4 hits together, all of them in the last 2 innings. The pitch, down and in, and it squirts away to the left of Trey Freeman, over toward the third base dugout. But not far enough for Kamahara to even think about advancing. So he stays at third. The infield stays in with that runner at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Davis Coaster is the hitter, trying to lift his team to a 4-0 lead. The pitch inside, and it hit him again. And in the same area as well. Somewhere between the elbow and the shoulder, I think, up on the left arm. That one got him, and Coaster takes one for the team again. Yeah, watching the replay, it looked like that one might have even got high on the padding again. Another reason that's possible is because Coaster didn't show any pain at all. It looked like it might have caromed right off that padding. Right about where the last one hit him in the 4th inning. So he's down at first base. And Kamaharo at third. Runners at the corners now. 1 out here in the inning. And time has been called as there's a discussion out on the hill now with one of the coaches for Tulsa Sandlot and the entire infield as well. Jake Russell is the head coach for Tulsa Sandlot. Gunnar Glad, Rick Rona, and Logan Taylor are the assistants. If Rick Rona sounds familiar, he's a former major leaguer who spent a brief bit of time with the Chicago Cubs quite a while back. Logan Shepard will step in now from the right side of the plate with runners at the corners and 1 out. The infield now will play back and look for a double play. The pitch swung on and lifted over towards center field. Westbrook coming over, diving in. He can't get there. It bounces in front of him. That'll score a run. It's an RBI single for Logan Shepard, first pitch swinging. And it's another run for Seattle, and they lead by the score of 4-0. Well, Westwick charged in, coming to his right. He dove for that one, and actually it looks like he got his glove on it, diving in towards the infield. A headfirst dive, but couldn't get enough leather on it to squeeze it into the glove. That'll be a base hit and an RBI, as easily scoring from third was Kamahara. Stopping at second is Coaster, so it's first and second now for Ben Schnerman. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. So Shepard gets the RBI. 4-0 our score now. Seattle with the lead. The pitch to Schnerman. Bouncing ball over toward third. Murphy diving to his left, deflects it with his glove. He can't come up with it though. And that will move everybody up 90 feet, and the bases are loaded. Well, that was a nice job by Murphy diving to his left. Did all he could just to stop it. It trickled over toward the shortstop Green. So no chance for the runner Coaster to advance. And that likely will be an infield base hit. So the hit parade really coming now for Seattle all of a sudden. The bases are loaded. Still only one out. And now Noah Fields takes high and tight for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, what a turnaround for Landon Grigg, who struck out the side in the third, but having all kinds of trouble getting hitters out since then. Through this stretch, nobody holding the runners on the pitch. This one is lined deep to left field. It's back. It's going to bounce to the fence and over the fence for a ground rule double again. Another one that easily would have cleared the bases. Instead, it goes as a ground rule double. So 2 RBIs for Fields, though. And all of a sudden, it is 6-0 Seattle on top. As Landon Grigg is not fooling them at all. Coaster scores from third. Shepard scores from second base. And again, Schnerman had to stop at third on the ground rule double. So 2 score, and now here's Isaiah Afework, who's having a big night. He's already got a single and a double. The pitch to him, line to third, off the glove of Murphy, on into left field. That'll score another run. Here comes Schnerman to score from third. Now the throw back to the infield gets away. Nobody's at home. Sliding in safely is Fields. Down to second goes Afework. And it's all falling apart for Tulsa now. Well, that was a line shot off the glove over at third of Nate Murphy. He's already got 1 error tonight. I'm not sure that one will be an error. It was a line drive right off the tip of his glove, deflected on into left field. But the worst mistake was the throw back to the infield that went behind home plate. And now Afework's at third, and the first pitch is wild. It gets away. Afework's heading down to third base. So it's 8-0, and all of a sudden, Seattle's got a runner at third with still only 1 out. Grigg from the stretch, nobody holding the runner on at third. The pitch, high and away for a ball. There's activity down in the Tulsa bullpen. But boy, have the wheels come off for Sandlot here. 3 in the 4th and 5 so far in the 5th. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch lifted into center field. Pretty well struck. We'll see if the runner's going to tag. Catching it is Westbrook. The runner will tag, and it's plenty deep enough to get him home. Here comes Afework to score on the sacrifice fly by Bergstrom. It's 9-0 now. Seattle with the lead. And that is the 3rd RBI of the game for Jack Bergstrom, who had a 2 RBI single in the 4th inning. So you can add to that here, 2 outs in the inning. 6 have scored in the frame. Now Jake Gallagher steps in. First pitch to Gallagher. Misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strike. The 9th hitter to bat in the inning for Seattle is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. And the 1-0. Misses down low, and the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Drew Kamahara started it all off with a leadoff double, and now he is on deck. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch. That one in tight for a ball. And the count is now 3-0. Seven hits in the last couple of innings for Seattle, or excuse me, 6 of their 7 have come in the 4th and the 5th. The pitch, high and away for a ball. That is a 4-pitch walk, and down to first base goes Gallagher as things just go from bad to worse for Landon Grigg and this Sandlot team. So Drew Kamahara is now batter number 10 for Seattle here in the inning. Started it off, as I mentioned a little bit ago, with a double. Here's the pitch. Outside edge, it's a strike, nothing in 1. Kamahara doubled, then was sacrificed to third base and scored on on Logan Shepard's base hit. Now a throw back to second base. That's by the catcher Freeman after the pitch. And this one is going to go into center field, and safe at second base is going to be Gallagher with a stolen base. So he is now in scoring position with a runner at second, 2 outs, and a 1-1 count to Kamahara. Here's the pitch. Inside for a ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Landon Grigg still working from the stretch. Nobody has held any runners on any of the 2 innings that he's pitched with runners aboard. Here's the 1-2 Kamahara takes, as that one is way outside. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Runner at second. 9-0 Seattle with the lead. Through the stretch goes Grigg, and now time is called. And Kamahara steps out. Grigg is ready. Stretches. Again, no look at second on the pitch. Bouncing ball over towards second, and it's fielded by the second baseman Barnes to his left. He'll field and he'll field and fire to first in time for a 4-3 putout. And the side retired, but not before a 6th spot is put up by Seattle in the inning. We go to inning number 6. Seattle 9 and Tulsa nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
I'm bougie. I'm like $7 bougie.
The all-new $7 deal lovers menu at Pizza Hut. Choose your $7 faves 7 days a week.
Because it's only a deal if you love it.
No one out-pizzas the Hut.
On to inning number 6, and boy, have the Seattle studs blown things open now. After a 3 spot in the 4th inning, they come up with a 6 spot in the 5th, and they lead Tulsa by the score of 9-0. As we are ready now for the top half of inning number 6. 9 runs and 7 hits for Seattle. No errors for the studs. And for Tulsa, Sandlot, no runs and a hit, 2 errors for Sandlot as well. So nothing really gone right the way of Tulsa here tonight. It'll be Brody Russell that'll start things for Sandlot here in the top of the 6th. And the first pitch from Jeff Brown is an off-speed pitch that misses, down and away for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. And if you're Jeff Brown now, that is not what you want to do up 9-0. Just get up there and rear back and throw strikes. And so far, 2 pitches in, he's not done that either time. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Brody Russell. Not to mention, Russell is the number 9 hitter in the order for Sandlot. 2-0. Here's the pitch. Swung on and pretty well struck, deep to right center field. Back and over to his right is going to be the right fielder, Afework, and he tracks it down in front of the track. Boy, what a nice running catch that time by Isaiah Afework in right field. It's interesting because Kamahara, the center fielder, looked like he was closer to that, but he gave way to Afework, who had the better angle. And Afework tracked it down, heading towards center field himself from right. So a deep fly out for Russell and one away. And that'll send us back to the top of the order with Zach Barnes. The first pitch to Barnes. Swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Burns, excuse me. Burns is 0 for 2. He is struck out and flown out to right. 0-1. The pitch. Line foul right side. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Jeff Brown toes the rubber again, gets the sign, and delivers the 0-2. Outside for a ball. And the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jeff Brown pitched in 173 minor league innings. The pitch, chopper, slowly toward first. This is going to be a tough play. Logan Shepard fields, but can't toss it to first. And that will be an infield base hit for Zach Burns, and he's on at first base. Boy, that was just a difficult play for Shepard. He charged in on the slow bouncing ball. Then he didn't even get a clean exchange to try to underhand it to his pitcher, Brown, covering. So a runner at first now. And here's Jackson Smith. And Smith takes a strike on the outside edge. It's 0-1. And that is also, by the way, the first base hit of the night for Tulsa. It comes in the 6th inning. Jackson Smith down in the count, 0-1. The pitch. Slider down and away. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And it was, take nothing away from Burns. He's doing all he can, but it was not a very well-struck ball at all. In fact, the hitter before him, Russell, made much better contact in and out. But on the score sheet, it's a single for Zach Burns, who now dives back into first base. As the throw is over, he's there in plenty of time. A ball and a strike, the count to Jackson Smith. Runner at first, 1 away. Top of the 6th inning, 9-0 Seattle. And Brown throws over to first, and again diving back is Burns. Brown's a lefty with a pretty good move. He even looked towards home plate as he started to throw towards first. The key is his leg lifted and moved towards first, and that's why it's not a balk. 1-1, he will throw home. And this one, a slider, just catches the outside edge. That one tailing away from the left-handed batter, but paints the corner. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Jackson Smith. Left-handed hitting first baseman for Sandlot. Brown stretches, looks over at first. He'll fire home, and this one outside. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Smith. Jeff Brown was the 696th pick by the Kansas City Royals in the 2007 draft. 2-2. And here comes the pitch. Swung on and lifted into center field. Pretty well struck. Kamahara back to his right, reaching up near the track, tracks it down and makes the catch for a long out number 2. Well, Sandlot has hit a couple of fly balls to the deeper parts of this ballpark. One to right center, that one to left center. But among all the other things Seattle does well, they've got good speed in the outfield, and Afework chased down the first one from right. And that time Kamahara chases one down in center, and 2 long fly ball outs here in the inning. And now Brody Green will step up to the plate. Brown checks the runner at first. The pitch outside, a fastball at 83, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Again, while Jeff Brown was drafted by the Kansas City Royals, all of his minor league time was in the Dodgers organization later on. 1-0, and the pitch took something off. A changeup at 73, and it's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brown has gone the distance. That's what you need in this tournament. Do what you can to save your bullpen. for when Seattle has to play again on Saturday. 1-1, and the pitch high and away for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Speaking of Saturday, Seattle will play TPA Texas at 6 o'clock Central Time. 2-1. Brown checks the runner at first. No throw that way. He'll toss home. And this one is sent to left field and pretty well struck. But it's a towering fly ball to Noah Fields. Who's under it? He's got it. And the side retired. So 3 fly ball outs. 1 to right, 1 to center, and the last one to left. And Tulsa strands 1 at first base. After 5.5, Seattle 9, Tulsa nothing at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
There's something happening in Wichita. Excitement, movement, a vibe. A city that offers amazing experiences delivered with heart. From arts to attractions, nightlife to sports, you feel the energy at every turn. A little fancy, a little funky, but always friendly. Come see the place we love. We think you'll love it too. Discover more at visitwichita.com.
Stadium, all Seattle tonight. 9-0 is the score. They have out-hit Tulsa 7-2. And as you can see on the line score there, none of the numbers favoring Sandlot, as they also have committed 2 errors tonight. So things completely going the way of the studs tonight, as the third pitcher for Tulsa Sandlot is out there now going through some warm-up tosses, trying to get in some work and find something positive for this Sandlot team, who trails by the score of 9-0. In that 5th inning for Seattle, they sent 10 to the plate. So they will start with Drew Kamahara to lead off the inning, and he led off the last inning as well. So it'll be Kamahara, then back to the top of the order with Murashige and Davis Coaster. I beg your pardon, they sent 9 to the plate. No, it was 10. That's correct. Duncan Bowles is the new right-handed pitcher for Tulsa. Bowles is a right-hander out of Amarillo, Texas. Pitched collegiately at Carl Albert College. So Makama Murashige leads off, as it was 10 sent to the plate by Seattle the last time they batted. So that means the top of the order is up with Murashige, and he takes a ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Duncan Bowles probably has done some Duncan in his life on the basketball court. He is 6 feet 6 inches tall. The pitch, line foul over on the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count 6'6", 220, and played collegiately at Amarillo Junior College up in West Texas. The pitch swung on and lifted high on the infield, foul territory. It's the third baseman over, and he can't catch it. Murphy has had a rough night tonight. Nate Murphy dropped that one, and that was the easiest play of all. He had a 1-hop hot shot to him that he didn't handle very early in the game, then a line drive screamer off of his glove, and those two, okay, they're very well struck balls. This was a pretty routine fly ball up the third baseline, and there's hardly any wind at all, and he dropped that one. So Murashige stays alive. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch to him. He swung late and fouls it back to the screen, and the count's still 1-2. Duncan Bowles, the pitcher out there for Tulsa now, is the only pitcher, or excuse me, one of only 2 players on the entire Sandlot roster not from the state of Oklahoma. The pitch swung on and fouled right side. Over toward the netting that goes, and it's going to clear the netting just barely on the first base side and land in the first two rows of stands. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Duncan Bowles is from Texas, and Bryce Parlin, another pitcher for Sandlot is from Arkansas. Every other player on the roster is from the state of Oklahoma originally. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Tried to check his swing, and he did not, as Murashiga went around for a strikeout to start the bottom half of inning number 6. 1 away. So Davis Coaster will step up to the plate now. Duncan Bowles is also the heaviest on their roster for Tulsa as the first pitch to Davis Coaster. A strike, 0-1. He might not like me say that, but they do post him on the rosters. It's public knowledge, and he's 220 pounds. That's still not too terribly heavy, especially when you're 6 feet 6 inches tall. The pitch, another strike, and it's 0-2. Luke Schimmels, their designated hitter, also goes 220. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3, and down goes Coaster. Well, no matter how tall or how heavy, he's gotten into a nice little groove in his two batters faced so far, as Duncan Bowles has gone strikeout swinging here in the 6th, and now he'll work on Logan Shepard with nobody on and 2 outs. Shepard, an RBI base hit his last time up. And he takes an off-speed pitch. Looks like a changeup at 76 in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Shepard out of Tacoma Community College. And the pitch misses for a ball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Last season at Tacoma Community College, Logan Shepard, good numbers, 280. He hit with 5 homers. And the pitch is a strike, 1-2. He also had 40 runs batted in and a slug percentage of .446. He also, on top of all that, stole 14 bases. What a season for him at Tacoma Community College last season. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and down he goes. And indeed, striking out the side, Duncan Bowles. So a nice job by him in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll go to the 7th. Seattle 9, Sandlot 0 at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.
Sometimes I wish I could go back just to take the class just because I love the environment. I love the family. I love the networking that you get when you're involved with Butler. I can still pick up the phone. I have those teachers in my phone number today. So if I had a question on something coming up, I can call any one of the teachers that I've had at Butler and they would answer.
On to the 7th inning we go from Eck Stadium in Wichita. 9-0 Seattle with the lead on top of Tulsa Sandlot. Boy, I want to tip your cap to the staff of this NBC. Kevin Jinks sitting in the stands right now getting a nice break, but he and his staff, Kevin is a part of the Wichita Sports Commission. He used to run this tournament with the NBC, and he's moved on to the Wichita Sports Commission, but still obviously very much involved in the tournament. But everybody responsible for this and a ton of volunteers doing a great job to put this 90th NBC on. What a staple it is in Wichita, and part of the fabric of this community every summer, and they're doing a great job. And they've got baseball round the clock coming back, and it'll be this weekend if you haven't heard. So here we go, 7th inning, and it'll be Luke Schimmels to start things off, and he'll first pitch swing and send one into center field. That one's down. That'll be a base hit. So a good start to the 7th inning for Tulsa as Schimmels is aboard on a base hit to center field. So a runner at first now, and Cale Wetwiska will step up to the plate. And actually, it looks like Tulsa's going to go to the bench and get a pinch hitter up to the plate instead. So I beg your pardon. A pinch hitter is up there now, and I think that's Noah Smallwood it is. And Smallwood sends one, backing out of play, 0-1 to him. Noah Smallwood, 5'10", 180 pounds, out of Claremore, Oklahoma. Collegiately listed at Southern Indiana he is, 0-1. Jeff Brown's pitch is line foul right side, down towards the Sandlot bullpen. And quickly, Jeff Brown is ahead in the count, 0-2. Jeff Brown struck out the side in the second inning. It was his second, third, and fourth strikeouts of the game after recording one in the first. He has not struck out anybody since. The pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. Straight back, it's 0-2. But he has done a great job of still working the zone. Sandlot hitters are making contact now, but not much solid contact. Or when it is, it's hit right at somebody. 0-2. Brown through the stretch, checks the runner at first. And the 0-2 pitch. Liner right back to Brown. It deflects off his glove. He's going to chase it behind the mound, and an underhand toss to second in time. Well, some alert fielding right there of his position by Jeff Brown, the pitcher for Seattle, as that liner came right back at him, and he got his glove on it. Then it deflected behind the mound. And he just scooped it up and had a little underhand toss to second. That's going to be a 1-6 putout for the first out of the inning. Wetwiska reaches on the fielder's choice, one away. Now for Trey Freeman, the second baseman. And Freeman takes on the outside edge a strike, 0-1. Boy, he thought, and I thought, and I think a lot of people thought that one missed outside, and it's no balls and a strike. Brown through the stretch. Looks over at first, and the pitch. Swung on and missed. That one at 81. So the velocity has waned here in the last couple of innings for Jeff Brown, but again, still around the zone, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Through the stretch goes the lefty, checks the runner at first, and the 0-2. And that one just missed. Jack Bergstrom, the catcher, tried to frame it for his pitcher, but they did not get the benefit of the doubt. Looked like it did just miss, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brown stretches, looks at first, and the pitch home. High and away for a ball. Now the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trey Freeman, the batter, 0 for 1. He has struck out and walked. Right-handed hitter. Wide open stance. Brown through the stretch and fires the 2-2, and that one down and in. And the count's now full at 3-2. Three hits on the night, all for Tulsa. 7 of them for Seattle. 3-2. Brown set, and the pitch. Fouled straight back over the netting, down below us and off to the right. And the count stays full at 3-2. I mentioned baseball around the clock. It'll happen this weekend as the first game of the day will be at noon, and that starts a full day of action, literally, straight on through the next day. Here's the pitch, up high, ball 4. And down to first base goes Trey Freeman. So now with 1 out, runners at first and second for Tulsa here in the 7th inning. There is a relief pitcher taking some light warm-up tosses for Seattle. That might be about to change here in the 7th as 2 runners are on now for Tulsa. And Jack Bergstrom out from behind the dish to talk to his pitcher. It all starts Saturday with the Boulder Collegians and the San Diego Stars at noon. Then there will be a game at 3 o'clock on Saturday. And then more baseball at 6 o'clock Saturday. On through the evening, and even games starting on into Sunday morning as early as 3 and 6 a.m. It's going to be fun out here that weekend. Here's Nate Murphy this weekend, I should say. Murphy first pitch swing, sends one down the left field line, shallow left field, slicing and foul. And it lands in foul territory down the line. It's 0-1. The GPS Legends and the Hayesville Aviators will play Sunday morning at 3 a.m. Hutchinson and this Sandlot team will play at midnight Sunday morning. That game scheduled for midnight will probably start well after it. The pitch swung on and chopped foul. Nate Murphy is the hitter, and he's down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Baseball round the clock was also a staple at this NBC World Series for some time. Then it went away back about 7 or 8 years ago. And it stayed away until this year. The NBC has brought it back. 0-2 the count to Murphy with runners at first and second, one away. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and down he goes. That was a slider. He was fooled, and that's the first strikeout for Jeff Brown since all the way back in the second inning when he struck out this side. So he has now struck out 5 in the game, and now it's out number 2. And now Sandlot is going to get another pinch hitter up. This is Britton Brewer, 5'11", 195-pounder out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Steps up to the plate now. Listed at Garden City Community College. And Brewer, big swing at the first one and fouls it straight back. No balls and a strike to him. Brewer is batting for Chandler Fowler, whose night is complete after going 0 for 2. Round through the stretch, nobody holding the runners on with 2 outs and Seattle on top 9-0. And the pitch, big swing and a miss. That one was well outside, and Brewer chasing it anyway, and he's quickly behind in the count 0-2. And all of a sudden, Jeff Brown has found his groove again when it comes to strikeouts. He struck out 4 of the first 7 he faced, then went into a drought for a few innings, but he just recorded a strikeout of Nate Murphy, and he's a strike away from 2 in a row. He'll look back at second, and the 0-2 pitch is home, swung on and missed. Strike 3 indeed, and down goes Brewer on 3 pitches. A strikeout for the 6th of the night for Jeff Brown, and that actually will do it. The run rule, the mercy rule, is in effect with Seattle up by 9 after 6.5 innings. So the final score, the Studs 9 and Tulsa nothing. For Seattle, 9 runs, 7 hits, no errors. For Tulsa, no runs and a couple of hits and 2 costly errors as well. What a job by Jeff Brown. He goes the distance, the complete game shutout as he strikes out 6. So Seattle, a 9-0 winner. They go to 1-0 in this tournament, and Tulsa Sandlot goes to 0-1. That'll do it from here. We'll get it started again tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Lone Star Baseball takes on the Kansas Cannons. 9-0 here, though. Seattle and Hutch, the 2 winners tonight. My name is Steve Strain. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night at the 90th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. So long, everybody.